What's going on, guys? It's Wind Model back at you here for another quick video. A little update from a video I did about a year ago, actually. Uh, this is at Savage Springfield. Our Springfield Savage Model 84C. If I can get my phone to focus here. The 24-inch barrel one I picked up from a local shop. The bolt action. However, if you remember, there's something new sitting on it that wasn't in the last video. So I took a trip into the same shop that I got this last year. It was actually last February that I picked this up. And I went in Saturday and picked up another gun that's nothing special, but I'm going to do a little video on it. It's a pretty common gun these days. It's a semi-automatic 22. I'll do a video on that here. I won't give it away yet, even though it's nothing crazy. But so I was in there, I paid for that gun. I paid for the new gun, and it's windy out here today, so bear with me if the sound gets muffled. But I'm trying to make this quick. So I was in there, I picked up my new rifle, and the owner of the shop, he says, "Oh, hey, Mark," he says, "I got something for you back here." He said, I wasn't sure when I was going to see you next, so he said, "I just put it in a bag back here on the shelf." It kind of caught me off guard, and he brings me this bag with this big old hunk of black metal steel in it. He goes, "That's the scope for that 22 you bought off of us last year." I was like, that's the original?" He said, "Yep." He said, "That's the original scope. Came with that Springfield Savage." So that made my day. I mean, I was more excited about this than picking up that new rifle, picking up the new gun. But yeah, this is it. This is the original. It's the original scope that came with this gun. I'll get up off the stand here, show you guys a little bit without dropping it. So this is the original scope that came with this. As you can see, there's some markings on it. Weaver. It's a Weaver scope. Patented in El Paso, Texas, USA. It's Weaver G4. Now, very interesting little scopes they are. But the cool thing about these scopes is they're a side mount. So when you're looking through the scope, you still have the ability to use your irons. You can see to the left, the mount goes to the left, and then you can still use your irons if need be. So that was pretty neat. I came home and mounted it, and he had all the original screws in the bag with the scope yet. And if you remember on my video I did of this gun last year, remember this? I broke down the markings that were on this side and not the back side of this barrel, indicating that this was a 1940 to 1948 production. It was in between 1940 and 1948 when this gun was made. So this scope is 40 to 48 as well. And the reason I know that is these scopes were generic. Now they're stamped Weaver. It says they were made in Texas, El Paso. A lot of them were just imported or put together here. These were Japanese. I mean, a lot of these scopes were made in Japan. How the scope Oswald used to at least shoot Kennedy. I don't think he killed Kennedy. There are two different calibers in Kennedy. But the scope that Oswald had on his Carcano was made in Japan. That was an old Japanese scope. And these were made in Japan too. These are 4x15 scopes, rim fires, obviously. A lot of them were trademarked Galaxy. And they boasted the slogan, whatever for them, was image moving, nitrogen filled. Now you gotta think 1940s, from 1940 to 48. That was kind of a big deal for optics back then. And it is a Weaver. It is a Weaver N2 side mount. No, it's not, is it? That's another thing I found. These were the N3 mounts. Another oddball type mount. Heavier steel is what I found. A little bit different styling as far as the bases go. And like I said, this is a heavy scope. You can get these. You can find the mounts for like $40 a day on eBay. I'm not sure what the scopes are going for. Probably, I don't know. I don't even want to guess. Maybe 75 to $100, maybe less, depending. But so anyway, I took it up Saturday and shot it. Shot this and my new gun. The new gun right out of the box with iron sights is dead on. One of the most accurate guns I've ever shot right out of the box. And I did bore sight this before I took it up, so this was pretty close when I got there. I think I put that's a 5-round magazine. I think I put 2 rounds or 2 magazines through it, so about 10 rounds until it was zeroed dead on where I wanted it. So about 10 shots with some tweaking. Now the odd thing about these, which I ain't gonna see, it's too small for me to show you through here, but it is pretty clear. I mean, you ain't gonna be able to see anything, but it's foggy. It's got some dirt. I mean, there's some crud on it. It's 80 years old. But when I got it, the reticle was all the way towards the left side of the view of the scope, so I had to get it dialed in and centered. But it was kind of odd adjusting these because the scope has to be mounted on an angle 90 degrees different to be able to clear this bolt when you use the action. So because of that, it turns this. So when you see a U there and an arrow for up, so this way should be up, right? Well, it's not. It's opposite. And the same goes for your windage. There's an L going clockwise, so you think left, follow the arrow, right? It's opposite actually. So, and that kind of screwed with me when I was adjusting it, because when you're holding it like this, and I have my screwdriver, and you're looking at it upside down. So the front of the barrel's that way, so you're looking at it upside down, trying to adjust it, and trying to think in your mind which way the reticle needs to go, all while looking at the adjustments and the letters of the scope upside down and backwards. So you almost need to turn the gun this way to adjust them, which is just kind of awkward, but it's a little bit of a mind fuck. So, I mean, it makes you think, which I guess is really good these days, because nobody likes to think, especially think for themselves. So this is what people had to deal with back in the day. There was no Google. You don't type in Google, hey, how do I adjust my scope on a so-and-so scope? You actually had to think and use your brain. But they're backwards. So if your reticle, if you're shooting low and you need to come up, you want to go opposite of up. So down is up and up is down. Left is right, right is left. Looking at it this way, it's kind of odd. But once I got between the bore sighting and then once I finally adjusted everything, we were only shooting like 25 yards, free-handed and rested. But I was shooting 25 yards. The last couple magazines I put through it, 25 yards free-handed, standing free-handed. I was shooting, 3x3 bullseye sticker targets, or 4x4s, 4-inch by 4-inch sticker bullseye targets. I was putting them in there free-handed at 25 yards. So for it's the scope is in the gun. This is between 1940 and 1948. So you're talking 80 years old-ish, 80-ish years old, coming up on a century. So I'm impressed. The 24-inch barrel. I was using the Winchester yellow box. I was actually shooting hollow points out of it. I did not shoot any flat round nose out of this yesterday. And that was just, like I said, that was all with hollow points yesterday. So see the wind really whipping. So I'm going to wrap this up. I ain't going to go too much longer. But yeah, I just wanted to, it was really cool for him to even hold on to that in the first place. That's the neat thing with these local shops. You get to know them. A lot of them are good people. Not every shop would have did that. They would have not told me about it or got rid of it or chucked it. But so it was really neat. I wasn't going to put a scope on this because it's a tack driver, to be honest, with the iron sights. And now it's pretty well a tack driver with the scope, and I can still use my iron sights because of the side mount. Again, really neat. So that made my day. Like I said, getting this Saturday was even more cool than buying the new gun. That's just how it is for me. I was tickled pink, as they say. So yeah, like 1940s. I know some of you older fellows that watch this, you might remember. You see this in a store for what, 60, 50, 60 bucks maybe with the combo back then. This is what you'd be looking at. Walk into a store, scope, gun. That would be the pairing. So it's just really neat to have a matching scope and gun from that time period. And like I say, 1940s. Wood and steel. I mean, that's a heavy scope. The scope's got some weight to it. Adds even more weight to the gun. But with the 24-inch barrel, nice heavy barrel too. There's no recoil on 22s to begin with, but this thing absolutely shoots like a feather now with the weight. And his attack driver with irons and with the scope. So, the only thing I noticed with this gun, I had like 3 white primer strikes. I'm not sure if that was the ammo or if my firing pin is getting a bit worn down. I'm gonna take the bolt out and look at the firing pin, see what it looks like. I may have to get a new firing pin for it, but Numerich has them. It's not a big deal. But this gun will last lifetimes. But I just wanted to share that with you guys. Going up on 14 minutes now. And it is flurrying here in central PA. A couple flurries just hit me in the face. After it was 70 degrees here last week for about 3 days. So, Pennsylvania, we get all 4 seasons in a day sometimes. Definitely in a week at times. But just wanted to share this with you guys. I'm going to let you go. I have the update on my 22 I picked up Saturday, my semi-auto. Maybe next week I'll get that out. I got some jobs coming up this week. I'm going to be busy. So, yeah. Springfield Savage Moto 84C. Got the scope for it. Paired up with it now. Awesome combo. And you guys that comment on my original gun video about this rifle, if you have the scopes or you have any experience with them, let me know in the comments down below, or any experience with these guns. Absolute great shooting guns. Tack drivers with the scope or irons. Smooth short throw bolt. Yeah, I just wanted to bring that to you. I thought some of you vintage guys would get a kick out of this. Very awesome that he held onto that scope for me, and I was able to pick it up and pair it with this excellent old rifle. But I'm gonna get out of here. You guys stay safe where you're at. Stay healthy. Hope everyone's doing good. Stay vigilant. A lot of crazy shit going on as always, and just do what you can. At the end of the day, as they say, at the end of the day, it's gonna be us usually. We're gonna be our first responder. So, you guys have a good one, and we'll see you on the next one later on.